Hello and welcome. Today I'm joined by Dr. Ahmed Elawadi, the CEO of Rathana EMEA, who is spearheading a massive shift in how governments think about healthcare. While most of longevity industry is focused on making money in the private sector, Dr. Ahmed is working on the long game, convincing the governments to move from treating diseases to predicting them years before they happen. We are going to dive into the economics of predictive medicine and why he believes the next generations of 20 and 30-year-olds can avoid the chronic illnesses altogether. Dr. Ahmed, welcome to the Growth Speech.
Hi, Alex. I'm very happy to be here with you today and speaking about one of the most important subjects, which is the healthcare or the quality of life of people. I think it's very interesting subject, and I'm looking forward to an interesting conversation.
Pleasure to have you. Do you want to share maybe your first aha moment that made the shift for you to start focusing on that specific area that you are focusing on right now?
Actually, I'm working in medical and healthcare business for more than 24 years now, and so it's for me it's not something new, but
Mhm.
I dedicated all my life mainly for the sector of diabetic foot and wound care. And you understand that diabetes have a lot of complication, and one of the major complication which happen in diabetes is diabetic foot ulcers, which at
Mhm.
the end ending by amputations, and some people
Mhm.
even within the 4 to 5 years they losing their life because of such complications. So this was a starting point for me to think about more deeper. What if we could prevent people from being diseased?
Mhm.
And actually, in the last 5 to 6 years, internationally and everywhere, the new science of longevity have come up, which is talking about not, it doesn't mean longevity, because I wanted also to highlight that longevity doesn't mean that you live longer. It
Mhm.
means, for me, I take it from the other side, which is living healthier.
Mhm.
So the quality of life will improve because you will be able to live with free from any diseases which is might affecting your quality of life, and even mobilities, which is at the end it's goes connected to what I'm doing with diabetic foot ulcer. So I was very interested because I feel like that longevity is connected a lot to what I'm doing, which is improving quality of life of diabetic foot patient. At the end, we are moving to more broader vision, which
Mhm.
is improving the quality of life and predicting diseases for everyone, not only diabetic people.
What do you think the mainstream media and just the mainstream perception of longevity gets wrong about that? Because I agree the quality of life is significantly more important than the length of life by itself. So what do you think is the common misconception there?
The common misconception that some people they trying to use the longevity to sell that they will give people more life easy. Like I will give you, you can live up to 120 years, 150 years, and this is can be achieved.
Mhm.
So the commercial part of the science have been taken by some. I cannot say this is not a general concept, but have been taken by some people who might use such concept for making more money than achieving the mission itself. So I would like always to highlight that let us stay in the scope of longevity, which is connecting to living more healthier.
Mhm.
And automatically, if we could be able to prevent diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, cancer, brain diseases, we could, I believe scientifically, this will be adding more years of life to people. But it doesn't mean from the beginning that we have to sell that we will live more longer without like easy, like this is the longevity,
Mhm.
which I disagree with.
Who are some of the people maybe that influenced your opinion on longevity and predicting the diseases as well that maybe early in your careers influenced how you think about it?
Actually, in the beginning of my career in longevity, I was like looking, to be honest, I use LinkedIn a lot. And to be honest, I try to connect to people, scientific people from different locations, either Europe or USA. One of my mentors, which I love him a lot, he's a friend and a brother also. He's a professor, Dominic Sohr. He's the dean of the College of Longevity Science in Switzerland. And
Mhm.
the work they are doing is very, very interesting because they are focusing mainly in the educational part related to longevity. So you wanted to make the science available and people to be educated about it. They are having, I think they are one of the like unique universities or academies which is presenting master degree in longevity. And I was admired by what they're doing because they are collecting people from different specialities, from different perspective of the subjects itself as a
Mhm.
longevity, and they creating courses and scientific awareness about the subject in a way which make it more scientific than it is to be commercial wise.
Mm.
So those Professor Dominic Thor actually he's one of the guys which inspire me a lot, and I go deep in longevity because I'm following always what they are doing.
Do you think because it's more scientific than commercial, do you think it's accessible for the wider population, or do you need to have a certain level of medical understanding to be really understand what is being developed?
Okay, this is thank you. I love the question. Actually, it is very very deep question because longevity have two different aspects.
Hmm.
If you look from at the scientific part, I think you should be having at least an interest about the science or a basic study about the science before. Either you're coming from a medicine background or any medical background, healthcare background, or even a science based or biomedical engineering. I
Hmm.
can say if you wanted to know to understand the science, but the most important issue that until now we are not too much. There is no too much awareness into the public level because I believe that longevity can be also a very easy science to the public and normal populations
Hmm.
if we go and discuss the subject as part of the quality of life. Maybe we need little bit well educated people, but at the end, if you go deep in science, the science of longevity, and you know that in my opinion,
Hmm.
diet, exercise, and sleep
Hmm.
is the main part of longevity, which I believe I could say it is scientific based part because I believe I know that there is some companies coming out with some apps for like wearables like auto rings or like Apple Watch in the market like a different type of those things. But
Hmm.
in the same time, you will find that the science book of longevity talks a lot about that exercise, sleep, and style of life. Okay, so diet, exercise, sleep might be the main medicine of longevity.
Hmm.
So I think if we go with this concept to the population, would say I say minimum educated population, we
Hmm.
would gain a lot of attention, and those people will understand that they could change the quality of life by doing simple things, even without need to pay money to buy the medicines or maybe food supplements or using maybe wearables. If you wanted, if even you don't have the money or afford to
Hmm.
buy wearables, you could do the basic science, and this could achieve a result.
Hmm.
So this is in my opinion this if we go with this concept, longevity would be a simple information to everyone, not only the scientific base.
Hmm. Do you think there is a tendency to overcomplicate sometimes the science to make it more interesting? Because there are a lot of, like you said, there are apps being sold, there are gadgets being sold where the basic is good sleep, good diet, good exercise, but that advice doesn't necessarily sell for the masses. So, how do you balance the best advice that could be easy to understand with making it exciting for the wider population to take to heart and actually follow it?
You're still asking good questions, but actually your question is still deep. And I thank you for asking such questions because I always talk about longevity, but some people does not they don't have the idea about asking those type of questions, which is really it touch the base of the subject, not only general. Okay, I would tell you something. The more complicated things or sophisticated things in everything in life, like they say for cars, if you go to more sophistication, it show you more luxuries.
Hmm.
And this is a concept not only in the science, but
Hmm.
I would accept if we show this part of complications to doctors or healthcare providers to make the subject more interesting for them to run out for more information. So they will
Hmm.
be interested to understand because if the science is more simple, there might not be a lot of people interested to study it or to go deep in it. But
Right.
if we take the other part related to public, let's say
Hmm.
patients and normal people, I don't think we should show such part because the more complication we will show to patients and populations, the less interest there will be
Hmm.
into reading or understanding, and also it will be equally applying it. So we will lose the attention to
Hmm.
get at least, in my opinion, we could achieve 30% of population they follow such longevity lifestyles with only simple information. So if we complicate the message, we will lose such, I will say, educated part
Mm-hmm.
of populations, which might be interesting to understand and apply the basics of longevity.
Mm-hmm.
So we should split always between professional information, which could be going to public or healthcare, sorry, provider and doctors, and information which we targeting for publication, public
Mm-hmm.
or for patients. But because I would say that maybe because the science is still even not well known within the healthcare or the medical field that much, or not a lot of people are working with it,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they are focusing more into education of the healthcare providers or the professional level people, because they think that those people will be the one who will be spreading the awareness to population. But
Mm-hmm.
I also think that should be an initiatives to start applying longevity for public, like we do. People when they have diabetes, they send them to diabetic educators, which
Mm-hmm.
educate them about diabetes, how to wear, what is the best way to protect your feet, how to best way to take your medicine in the right time, how to secure yourself always and keep your diabetes level within the range, which is protecting you. If we created like longevity educators for
Mm-hmm.
patient, I don't know, maybe it's a new idea come up when we're talking now, but I think we should have a longevity patient educators,
Mm-hmm.
and these people will be spreading the awareness, because those will be doing a big amazing missions. Actually, they will educate people how to live healthier, more diet, the food control,
Mm-hmm.
the exercise, the quality of sleep. And I'm telling you, if we succeed to do this publicly, we will have automatically part of the population will follow such instruction, and they will achieve the longevity within no budget, which is at no cost.
I remember when we spoke before the recording, one of the things that stood out to me that you mentioned is that it's not just about individual benefit to the people if they're more educated and they follow those protocols early in life, but it also has a massive benefit to the country, to the economy, to the workforce as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? How do you see the impact of the government and the wider population just being more proactive with that?
I agree. This is totally, to be honest, I wanted to, I don't think this is something which me personally have initiated or think about it. I'm sure that there's a lot of people worldwide is thinking the same, but I believe it's something which called corporate longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate longevity is that should be applied like I could say country longevity, like or like governmental based longevity and corporate longevity. So what is the meaning of such words? The meaning here is that, like, let's imagine on a small scale. If you are working in a big company, let's say an Apple or maybe Microsoft, or like in Tesla,
Mm-hmm.
you have a lot of employee worldwide by maybe 100,000, or I don't know, including people working in the factories. If the I'm sure that within those employee you have people who have an experience or carry certain potentiality, and you wanted to keep them always in the organization productive.
Mm-hmm.
You'd imagine that if we apply corporate longevity on employee, and we are detecting and predicting how those guys' health could be better or even could be worse within 10 to 15 years, and we apply such programs which could improve or at least prevent those diseases, you understand that such employee could stay more, maybe 5 to 10 years more working with no healthier and happy. And
Mm-hmm.
this will add that you will have the more experienced people is the more people who have the production always, because they have either they have the minds of the company, or they have the deep experience and the strategic, which is achieving the results and achieving the progress, either development or current progress. So if we achieve such corporate longevity on such level, we could protect those employees to be more healthier. It will impact more in their lives, and it will be impact again on the organization.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is one study. I don't want to make mistaken numbers, but they said if we increase the median range of ages like 10 to 15 years more,
Mm-hmm.
you know that people at maybe 1900 was living around the median range of life was around maybe 40 years old. Now I think it's becoming 60 to 65. So if we move this is because of the disease which happened at that time, like
Mm-hmm.
Spanish flu and these things. If we have now people living more 10 to 15 years. I think this the number I remember 600 something trillion dollar will be added to the global economy
Mm.
if we succeeded to extend the life or make the life remove this disease, which is automatically will make people live healthier, and automatically will be scientific based. It will increase the range of average ages of people everywhere, and this will add to the economy. So
Mm.
I'm applying this in a small corporate level. But what if we apply this also in the government? What do you understand if there is one arm inside the government to which called predictive medicine? I believe UAE is one of the pioneer country who
Mm.
have the predictive medicine application into one of the scientific longevity centers, because I think I believe that UAE is one of the main and leading company which opened the longevity governmental center. So they
Mhm.
believe that what I'm trying to do, they already did, I think 2 3 years back. So
Mm.
this is why I'm always saying that the UAE is like a place which is always inspiring you to think more, because you wanted to compete with what you're doing, and which is not easy, because
Mhm.
they're always thinking more 5 to 10 years before anyone. So
Mm.
they run into the future. And when we see what they're doing, we, like I said, why the government does not do longevity. So suddenly I discover that UAE already have opened a longevity center 2 3 years back. So
Mhm.
I would say that the inspiration which happened inside you from all this innovation and competition, it makes our mind always active, and we are looking to always compete with the best of the best. And this is why idea comes. So if we open such longevity centers all over the countries on the governmental level, and
Mhm.
only inspection of prediction disease. There is one test in the market. There is a lot of several tests in the market which is for longevity. Let's say it's a DNA methylene test.
Mhm.
We have also glycan protein test, and we have telomere length test. This is a scientific name of the test. I
Mhm.
believe that glycan protein test is one of the best tests. I personally work with those people who are doing such test, and the test is actually it could predict disease, and it's have a very big solid scientific base. If we do such massive testing for let's say part of populations, and we could understand that if those parts will have disease within the coming 10 to 15 years, and even we do a trial for prevention, that we
Mhm.
apply such longevity science on them, and we predict, we see how the improvement will happen within maybe 6 months 1 year on the lives, on the score of longevity and aging.
Mhm.
And this small trial will lead us to achieve more bigger. It will lead us, if it succeed, that we would apply this on a bigger level, and
Mhm.
thus we would be able not only to treat people or preventing complication of disease. No, we will be predicting the disease and preventing disease, at least if we take 30% of people who should be infected within the coming 10 years, we could prevent them. This will be, you understand the numbers. If we do
Mhm.
calculations, this will be billions of dollars will be saved, because you will not have those guys diseases.
Mhm.
Also, this is not only the only the first the first part of the subject. You have to
Mhm.
talk about other part, which is quality of life. You will
Right.
have more people having better, healthier life, more quality of life. So the people will stay more happy, more healthy, and you will be more productive in their all personal life and even in the work.
Mhm.
So it's an impact in all aspects, or either personal aspects, on into a level of corporate aspect, and even in the levels of country aspect. So
Mhm.
this is the it's the initiative I believe one day we could achieve.
Mm.
I'm sure it will come, because if
Hopefully.
you have done it, I think it will be done everywhere.
What do you think? I want to ask you about the timelines because it's interesting that you said that UAE already has those centers set up for a number of years and they're leading the way. I think between the timelines for most governments, for corporations, and for individuals, it's different time horizon when they think about their longevity. For the individual, they should understand the value of it because it's their life, and the sooner they get educated in life, then the likely they take it seriously. For the governments, for most governments, I think again in terms of what it can do for the population and for workforce is quite important. But I'm guessing there are some challenges of maybe making the case immediately. For corporations, when a lot of companies are focused, on just their quarterly reportings and how they're doing annually, what have you seen work with the messaging to explain for more companies to have their workforce take their longevity, take everything that you're talking about more seriously, so they're spending time on it, even though the benefit of doing so might not necessarily be immediate.
I think that uh, I would say that why UAE have achieved such success, because there is a visionary leaders, and
Hmm.
the environment here is pushing due to innovation, and they really care about people health and safety.
Hmm.
I think wherever the person exists which have the vision of the long term vision, which is that he will be applying things which might be impacting him, the organization, and even the population, and even the economy, you will find people more easier to achieve the things, because I don't think it's expensive to apply the basics, because
Hmm.
I think the subject need like a visionary people. This is why UE is always leader, because you have the visionary leaders
Hmm.
which is always looking to achieve things which is impacting life of people, and they're looking to improve and make the best. So wherever we can have such visionary leaders, you need to think about not the cost you will pay just for testing or for education. You have to go to think that with doing such things, you might also gain the loyalty of your employee, and
Hmm.
you believe that those companies is not just a company that we work for to take a salary, but it's a company that creating and finding solution to protect us. And this also because when you protect the father of the family or the mother which taking care of their
Hmm.
kids, you are also impacting also the family, so the people down, so this feeling and loyalty will spread all over everybody, and they will be feeling that this company is part of their family, and they will never leave the company. They will give the best for the company work, and they will become more healthier. So we should only at least look in more broader vision, a
Hmm.
long-term vision, that what we are doing now is not only impacting, it might have a like initial cost, but the result and the outcome which will come out of this will be very long-term results, and it will not only gain more healthier employees that work for us and give money, but will achieve more money to economy, loyalties, even protecting families.
Hmm.
It's a very big mission. I don't think that anybody will deny such mission.
Hmm.
You need to understand that we have always. I'm sorry, but I would like always to highlight that in UAE, because safety is was part of our culture growing inside UAE, living here.
Hmm.
Even whatever is happening in UAE now does not affect our beliefs that UAE is not safe. We still feel it's safe, because you will find us going around, doing our activity, going to the beach. There is nothing changed in our lifestyle, because we have the beliefs. But
Hmm.
why is this happening? Because those government have invested, and with the visionary leader, that they invested a lot of money and time into building such concept inside everybody living in UAE, and this is why we still believe in it. So I
Hmm.
believe longevity is the same like safety. If we
Hmm.
building such concept in the mind of people or the families or the public education, they will always be loyal to what who is doing such things, because at the end it's not impacting you personally on the level of healthcare, but it impacting your children, it's impacting your lifestyle, it's impacting being happy and living more happy with your family, and that is impacting everybody in the whole population.
Absolutely. It takes that vision, it takes that leadership to inspire the community, whether in the company or in the country. What would you say are the maybe two or three immediate practical steps that somebody who owns a business could take to approach that subject for their team members, for their employees, so that the company gets more involved with longevity and identifying those opportunities within immediate timeline?
You're still asking good questions. You should stop doing this. A lot of good questions. Actually, I would say, please, if you would be interested one day as an organization or company, like a CEO in a company or a decision maker in a company in longevity, don't look to the subject that it's a money making,
Hmm.
because this is a main problem which I find with some of the companies and clinics and even people who look in longevity, because they think that let us jump in this new science, maybe we can make some more money, which from a subject which is still hot. I
Hmm.
would say no. Please, when you go to such subject, first thing you should do, you need to understand if this subject could work with you in your organization, working with your within your area, within your capacity. Are you interested really in doing such projects, or because this is a long-term project, not something you have to do it in 1 month, 2 months, and you will get your money. So this is the first
Hmm.
thing you have to read about it, understand it. Number two, You should do if you are decided to invest money and time within your team to make your company working in longevity. Please be sure to that you will follow the evidence based medicine, because there is a lot
Mhm.
of company in the market will come and offer you a lot of things which is non-scientific based just under the name of longevity, and this it might be selling things which is not harmful, but it's not useful. So you are wasting your
Mhm.
money and you are losing your credibility. So you should understand where you will what is your target market. So to whom you should speak. You should invest more money into educating the healthcare provider. If you wanted to work in this market, you should work first in education, not only
Mhm.
coming one day to get a product which talk about longevity and wanted to sell to patients or maybe to doctors but to prescribe without be doing your homework. So the homework should be you should establish a very well organized educational program for both those healthcare providers and also for patients. So when you sell this your product, you are sure that this product or this type of a longevity element will
Mhm.
also match the market, and at the same time it will add values, just not making money and then at the end this patient will not come again, or this doctor, that's one time selling, they say. It's not
Mhm.
one time selling. If you wanted to work for improving quality of life and be making people healthier, you should understand that this is a long-term business, not short-term business. So if you are not into long-term business or visionary business, don't no need to go for longevity.
Do you think right now with AI and a lot of people looking for answers when they're interested, the information available right now with the AI, do you think it's helpful or more harmful if somebody who is interested maybe not searching for the right information or asking the right questions?
No, I think the AI will give you some good information about longevity. It's
Hmm.
depending on what is the question. Because I always say that AI could work differently with different people. Because it's if you use the mind of AI, you will only get the information, the same information.
Hmm.
But if you use your own mind and input into putting the questions in different way in AI, it will get you different type of information, which is will be, believe me, very good one.
Hmm.
So the AI already is part of the longevity science, because all the applications and the testing and all the wearables which detect age, it's based on an AI application which have algorithm for
Hmm.
prediction. So AI already is like a twin of the longevity. So
Hmm.
without, I don't think that if we move the AI from the longevity, the big part will be missing. So
Hmm.
yes, AI will give you some information if you use ChatGPT, whatever Gemini or any type of AI application which you're using to getting your information. Always search for, like, it will be two different questions. Let's say, for example, how I make money from longevity. So
Hmm.
the question will be different. But how can I understand longevity in the right way? You understand? It's the same question goes to the same AI, but the answer will be totally different, because what is your aim from the questions?
Hmm.
The result of the answer here will come to you in a way which is either in a good positive way or in a negative way. It takes you to the place which will never be educated. So you should understand how to phrase your questions to the AI and what is your aim. This is why I say longevity is a long-term investment, or something which should be long-term plans. It's not something short-term. You can jump and take some money and leave. Otherwise, you will not be. It will not achieve anything except make. Maybe you might make some money, but
Hmm.
it will never reach to the mission of longevity.
The final goal,
Yes.
certainly.
Yes.
One of the things when we were talking before that you mentioned is the distinction between prevention and prediction. For our audience, do you want to break down how do you see the difference between the two when it comes to longevity?
Prevention, it means, so prevention means that you might have a disease like, let's say, diabetes, and you are preventing complications.
Hmm.
So you're preventing diabetic foot from happening. You should wear proper shoes. You should
Hmm.
walk in home barefoot. You should wear socks. So
Hmm.
you're preventing complication of disease.
Hmm.
So it's because the disease already exists. But prediction of the disease, it means I will predict if I would be diabetic or I would be hypertensive within the coming 10 years. So I not at the time of prediction, I might be healthy.
Hmm.
So I don't have any complaints. So the point here is that some people does not move for actions unless they have the event happen already. That I'm already sick, so I have to treat myself. Or some people even does not care. This is more bigger problem. But
Hmm.
if we are looking here to convince somebody that you might be sick with the diabetes within coming 10 years,
Hmm.
Please do not eat too much. Maybe you have to change your lifestyle, doing walk maybe every day. Don't eat too much sugars like carbohydrates. Maybe control your food, make fasting. Intermittent fasting is one of the, also some of the things which they find it even helping longevity. So you understand totally the mindset. You're sick and
Mhm.
preventing complication, and you are here very young, maybe, or and maybe you don't feel anything, and I'm coming to tell you that you might be sick.
Mhm.
So this is the difference between prediction of things which never happened before or didn't yet happen. It will take long time to happen, and
Mhm.
something which is very close. Like even in diabetes, some people come to a stage called pre-diabetic. So they
Mhm.
score in HB1C maybe a range of 5.5 to 6, maybe it's this range, or like 5.5, and the doctor say to them, you are in a like a gray zone. You have to take care
Mhm.
preventing, but you are still, you are not sick and you are not 100% free from disease. This is an area, gray area sometimes. But
Mhm.
in prediction of longevity, you don't have, you are still in the green zone, the deep of the green zone.
Mhm.
You are not coming even to the gray area. So this is the difference totally. So this is why I'm always saying that longevity should have a winning minds, that people will really have from the deep inside the willing to change, to become healthier and protect themselves. Because if I'm coming to you, Alex, and I tell you you will be
Mhm.
sick within 10 years,
Mhm.
stop. Yeah, just do sleep well, take good food, and don't and do exercise.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something.
Mhm.
Let's imagine that the science is wrong,
Mhm.
and what I'm telling you, the test I did to you is not accurate.
Mhm.
If you do this, what will happen to you? You will be more bitter even. So, you know what is the philosophy I like in longevity? That
Mhm.
it carry inside it, if we follow the evidence base or the scientific part of longevity,
Mhm.
believe me, if even if the whole science was a big lie, what you will do, it will impact your life, even longevity was correct or not.
Mhm.
So this is why I love longevity science, because the basics procedure or the basic steps you have to follow in longevity is something healthy, although if longevity was correct or wrong.
Mhm.
And this is the beauty of longevity. At all, by all means, you will win. You will win. Either if I'm correct and longevity, you will have the diabetes. Or if
Mhm.
I'm not correct, this action will add to your life also, and your health and quality of life automatically, because this is a healthy lifestyle. I'm not asking you to do anything.
Sounds like there is no downside. Whoever follows
Yes.
it will be better off
It will be up,
regardless.
always up. If I'm correct, you will be protected from disease. If I'm not correct, what you're doing is already adding to your health already. So you are winning
Totally.
by all means. But again, I'm saying if we stick to the evidence, the scientific part of longevity. Yes, there's
Mhm.
some supplement like NAD plus, or maybe some disease, rhabdomycin. Some people talks about metformin. But
Mhm.
I would say there is no approved drug up to today. I think there's no FDA approval for any medicine for longevity. So
Mhm.
those might be under clinical trials or under trials, but yes, those things might be, some people are giving them, but at the end, what is the base of longevity? It's a lifestyle changing,
Right.
which is positive things.
Do you think it would be possible to get to the point where 20 and 30-year-olds that follow longevity and they follow those protocols, that the chronic diseases will be eliminated altogether?
Very hard questions.
Mhm.
But I believe with the scientific researches happening everywhere, and the science, the achievement which science is proving every day, I think yes. I
Mhm.
think yes. I think yes, we could, because I will tell you something. There is a lot of diseases before was available in like, let's say, hepatitis C. It was
Mhm.
everywhere, and when the medicine comes and people cured, and they don't have any more. There is
Mhm.
no people are having hepatitis C now. So I think yes, because longevity science will look deep at how not only to predicting disease and how to stop the progression. Because I might know that I might have cancer within 10 years, but I don't know how to stop it.
Mhm.
Maybe diabetes, I could stop it, hypertension by lifestyle. But I think when we go and when we understand that prediction stand on certain proteins in body or indicators, the science will go deep also to say how we stop those things from going on in our body, and then we will not be there. So by going deep, I believe in that the longevity science, with more research and funding to the R&D, we
Mhm.
will be able to at least to eliminate part of the diseases we have nowadays, which I'm mainly focusing about brain diseases cardiovascular diseases, metabolic diseases, and also cancer. I think if we stop those four diseases, a lot of people will achieve longevity automatically.
Certainly.
So yes, yes, it might. I'm like, I don't know. I'm hoping for this, but I think the achievement happened until now could show that this is might be achieved. I could say within 5 years, maybe it will be achieved.
What type of work are you focusing the most throughout 2026 in your work with the government and with other organizations that you're working with?
Okay, so we have in our company we have two arms of work. The work which is commercial work, we are selling 360 solution for prevention and diagnostic of diabetic food, which is part of what we're doing for the last 13 years. And this is we're still focusing on this part because we are a unique. We have a lot of big portfolio, especially we have AI products. We have also high technology level products and very high quality product, which is treating and preventing and diagnostic of diabetic foot ulcers, which is big part of complication of diabetes, and also which lead to amputation, which lead sometimes to even this. So we are working, still working in this. This is half of our work, and the other half, still I'm investing more time into longevity. I could say that I'm working in the longevity within the hard part. I could get any product and sell it immediately, but I'm always looking, trying to achieve big visions and initiatives for longevity, which might need longer time and more discussions. Because again, as I told you, I believe longevity couldn't be a private work. I wanted to make it a public work, which is not easy because you are talking to governments to change policies and being understand or discuss a new type of medicine, disease, science, and maybe putting part of the budget into something which is they might not have. Some countries even they have limitation and budget of the treatment. You imagine that those guys will go to pay money for even prediction, not prevention? They might not. But at the end, the mission still being achieved if we be trying as much as we can in our work and our strategic in 2026 into simplifying the message and trying to find solutions which is encouraging budget wise to be tried. Like I will not go with a big amount of money you need to spend to try longevity, but I would go with the basics and small investment to convince people they will say, okay, let us try it. So without putting complicated science, complicated budgets, and then nobody will try. So this is what we are trying to do in 26.
Reasonable first steps to get the
Yes.
ball rolling and get
Yes.
the conversation going. If somebody, whether in private sector or from the government, want to learn more about your work, where can they learn about it online?
Actually, we are very active on LinkedIn. I posted regularly about the science of longevity, diabetes, food. Also, you can follow me, and we have our webpage in the company webpage. I think I can give to you, and you can post it within the video. But I would say. If you wanted to look really to the deep to what we're doing, we always post regularly because nowadays I'm not posting a lot. But before regularly, I post daily one post about longevity and one post about diabetic foot, and I put all my visions and my discussions into this. So if this is something which is will, I'm hoping that this might change the concept of people about those sciences. So I would say you for you mean I'm welcoming always anybody, believe me, to call me in the phone. I have a lot of discussion with a lot of people who have new innovations and they wanted even to understand. They say, can you explain to me what is longevity? I would be happy. So even you can contact me directly because again, we are not doing this because of to just a commercial purpose. We wanted really to be but like a very valid point of education and awareness for public and healthcare providers about this. And even we wanted people to come and teach us, and we also teach other people. So it's a hub of knowledge. And I believe that personally, that knowledge is the ultimate power. It's more important than than even the money or whatever any type of other aspects in life. But knowledge is the ultimate power. So the more knowledge we will take and share, the more better the situation will be, or the more the environmental around us or the even the public awareness will increase. And this is part of our missions also, not only a commercial but just making profits.
Certainly. I think that's a very good mission because there's no point being best kept secret. If you have something amazing but nobody knows about it, then the change is not really coming. So you need to be able to spread the message and make sure that
Again,
the right people see
I
it.
mean the knowledge And I would tell you 20, 30 years back when no internet and this knowledge is not, but believe me, nobody could block the knowledge now. The knowledge is
Hmm.
everywhere. So either you will be a positive person, and you will be well known that you are not selfish in sharing your information experience, or people will believe me, they can get the knowledge from online because unless they. So at the end, I believe it's better to be a positive person
Hmm.
and a person who would like to impact life of others and change and the quality of life of people, because this is very, it makes you happy. It's part of, like, like you are doing your own meditations.
Hmm.
I believe this type of meditation I do to myself,
Hmm.
that the more I see, I give information, the more I give my knowledge goes to people, the more I think even I achieve, I impact one person in his life. This is makes me happy. It's but maybe this is, I don't think everybody will be the same, but at the end, I'm this person. I like to impact other people's life and like to be positive always. And sharing information is part, and trying to make my inputs publicly to everyone. It makes me happy if somebody even take it and make me go to more better outcomes. At the end, I will be
Hmm.
happy to see everybody becoming more better, more healthy, more quality of life will be achieved everywhere. you know Even poor people, they with this type of education, you might find somebody don't have the money to buy medicine, but he will be doing this basic things, and he will be achieving better quality of life without need of big budgets. So this, I think, longevity even is for poor countries, not only like a high level or maybe rich countries. It could goes to Africa, it could goes to everywhere.
Hmm.
So because I think it should be part of our life. It's a style of our life.
100%. That's I think very positive message, and hopefully everybody who's listening to this episode will be inspired as well to do their research and to take the steps necessary.
I hope this. I will be very happy that such recording we're doing now, or the video we're doing now, will be an impacting people life, and people will think about longevity, or read about longevity, at least know what is this, how can you achieve it for yourself, even without asking experts, because it could be even a
Hmm.
learning aspects. You don't need to go to doctor. You could achieve longevity by reading.
Hmm.
I believe in this. Maybe some people will disagree, but because I think it's a lifestyle and willing decision. So if you know about it, you could achieve it.
Absolutely. And even if somebody disagrees, they will do the research to disagree, and by doing that research, maybe they will still be better off.
Yes,
So either
agree,
way,
agree.
perfect. Dr. Ahmed, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a pleasure having you with
I'm
us.
very happy to be with you today, Alex, and I would like to thank you for such very. You have a lot of very amazing questions, deep questions.
Thank you.
You are reaching the roots of the subjects, and this is not easy to find actually in somebody who's like all interviewing with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for
Thank you
coming
very
again.
much. Thank you.